When my friend told me I'd be photographing and filming a wedding, my first question was, "You mean like with real people?" My friend who has her officiant's license said yes. I told the couple that you photograph squirrels really good, so how different can humans be? It's not very often I get to photograph humans. With a small circle of friends and not much family left, the opportunities are few and far between. Once in a while, I can badger my brother into letting me take his portrait. After the initial excitement wore off, I was overwhelmed with thoughts on what gear to bring. I watched YouTube videos of wedding photography and filmmaking, and I came to the conclusion that I needed no less than 4 cameras. Since I was going to be filming and photographing the ceremony at the same time, I decided I needed 1 camera to film the ceremony facing the altar, and then I needed another camera angle to film the bride's reactions, and a 3rd camera to film the groom's reactions, and I needed the 4th camera to stay with me to take the photographs. The only problem is, I only had 3 cameras. I have the Sony a7 IV, the Sony ZV-E10, and the Osmo Pocket 3. I really did regret selling the Sony a7S III. It does incredibly well in low light, so I decided I needed to get it back for the ceremony. I knew this was going to be a simple ceremony in a home, but I really wanted to study up on how to do a complete formal church wedding along with the reception. Since I had just learned off-camera flash, I decided I was going to bring my light stand, my softbox, and since I wanted to also make a wedding film that was lit right, I was also going to bring my video light. I was starting to feel flustered, and I haven't even watched half the videos I wanted to get through on how to pose a couple for wedding portraits.
If there's a part of your client's body that can bend, it should bend, right? So we don't want straight wrists. We don't want straight elbows. We don't want straight knees. We want everything to be slightly bent, because someone that's posing even just for headshots, if they're like this with their hands straight, it's going to look weird. But if they slightly bend their wrist, it looks a little bit more natural.
I decided I needed some practical advice, so I reached out to my favorite photographer on YouTube, Brian James.
Hi YouTube, Brian James at Maker 4/3 guy with you once again.
And he so graciously invited me to give him a call. He took the time to walk me through a complete church ceremony and told me exactly where to position my cameras to film it. He suggested I position 1 camera behind the officiant's left shoulder, and the other camera angle could be in the front off to the right side. A particularly helpful hint he gave me about filming the ceremony was concerning audio. He said it's critical. When he found out I was going to use a shotgun mic on the Sony a7S III, he said that really wouldn't be good enough. I told him I hadn't yet invested in any really good lavalier mics. He told me to take my iPhone, start it recording, and place it right near the officiant, and he said that would give me some really good audio. He also said as a backup, take the mic from the DJI Pocket 3 and also place that right near the officiant, because he said you really want to capture the vows clearly. As far as photography goes, he gave me some incredible tips. I was really concerned about doing off-camera flash with a light stand and my big softbox, and I was afraid that that might get in the way, and plus my friends said they have pets, and I was thinking maybe all this extra gear was just going to cause unnecessary tension. Brian James suggested just keeping the flash on my camera and pointing it backward over my shoulder. He said that way it would create bounce flash and give a nice effect like a softbox. I decided to take his advice for my very first wedding. The idea of fumbling with softboxes and video lights really was adding to my anxiety, and I decided I needed to keep things more simple for my first wedding. When Brian James asked me which lenses I was considering bringing, I told him the Sigma 28-70 f2.8 that would stay on my Sony a7 IV to take photographs. And then for the Sony a7S III to film the ceremony, I was going to use a Sony 24mm f2.8, and for filming a nice angle of the bride, I decided on the Sony ZV-E10, I'd use a Sigma 16mm f1.4. I decided to only have 2 cameras set on tripods to get 2 angles, and then I would keep the Osmo Pocket 3 with me to get any B-roll footage as needed. A wonderful piece of advice Brian James gave me is when I'm doing the filming and the photography, do not leave the aperture wide open. He said I really should stop down to at least f5.6. He says you want to make sure to get the background in focus, because when the couple looks back on these photos, they want to remember the home that they were in at the time. And he says when you're filming the ceremony and the couple's coming down the aisle, you don't want the guests to be all out of focus. He also explained that when I'm filming the wedding, don't worry so much about getting close ups. He said if I film it wide, I can always crop in post. And as far as the photography goes, he explained that of course it's important to get full body portraits, but not to forget the tight detailed shots of things like the rings. He told me when it comes time to posing the bride and groom and the family for their portraits, I need to be a little assertive. And he said if I have issues with that, it might be helpful to have an assistant who's more assertive. And I explained to him that thankfully my friend Melissa, who's the officiant, she has no trouble with that at all. He couldn't have been more right about this, because at a wedding, people are there to have fun, and if you don't take a little bit of authority, the night will get away from you. The night before the wedding, I said, Lord, please guide my hands and let me get everything in focus, and help me not to knock over anything. What I've come to realize is nothing can completely prepare you for what it's going to be like to photograph and film your first wedding. I didn't get a chance to meet the bride and groom, Mike and Laura, or visit their home before the wedding. I was going into this completely blind. My main concern when I first got there was being able to set up my tripods. I'm not really mechanically inclined, and sometimes it takes me a while. I also wanted to make sure that I'd set them up so they wouldn't be in the way of the guests. Yeah, let's see what it looks like. It should be good.
Overhead, so.
Yeah. Just turn
Does that help?
See what
It's on.
Okay.
I did make the mistake of getting the tripod in the shot of the other camera.
By the love that you have shared and promises that you have made, I pronounce you married. You may kiss the bride. My honor to introduce you for the first time as a married couple, Mike and Laura Kern.
After the ceremony was over, Melissa was invaluable in getting the bride and groom and family ready to do their portraits. I really need to learn to be a little more assertive.
Mike, get by the fireplace.
Babe.
I'm being bossy now.
Okay.
Mike's like, all right, I'm done. Mike's
All
like,
right,
"All right."
there you go. Get your pictures.
She's like, get him now. Otherwise, you ain't gonna get him later.
Watching videos on how to pose couples and families for wedding portraits does not completely prepare you for what it's really like. I was given some inspiration on a few cute poses, and it really helped that the couple was adorable. Lean into him, like go kind of hug her from behind.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there you go. And
Do
then
you want me to look up at him or not yet?
Can you get both the pictures?
Yeah. I'll get a close up too. But,
There you
you
go.
can show you that.
Just
One of the major challenges I wasn't expecting is with group photos. It wasn't as easy as I thought to have everyone smiling with their eyes open all at the same time. I've learned that I really need to give better direction.
Brett, Layla, sit.
You good? Sit.
Brett, me sit. Layla, sit.
Off. One trick for treat.
Excuse me.
Another issue I was having was I was getting some shadows being cast across the faces from the window blinds. Since the window blinds couldn't be completely closed, I decided to move the family over a little bit more away from the window. Okay, everyone is good except there's a hot spot coming
Yep,
around
I
the
see
face.
it. It's because those blinds are missing.
Yeah, kind of tuck in that way.
That's why I'm saying we need to
Maybe
switch
when he
positions.
went over
there,
There's
nothing
something on
with
the
that.
curtain.
We, yeah.
That's the only
closer,
other
Mike.
I mean, we can.
Scooch in, Mike. Scooch in, you might get it.
Is it out?
Photographing and filming a wedding is such a special experience. When I was going through the photographs and playing back the video, I could just feel the love emanating from my screen. All I can tell you is I can't wait to do this again.
Marriage is a promise made in love, kept with respect, and strengthened by trust, laughter, and patience. Today, Mike and Laura choose to make that promise to one another. I promise to love you,
I promise to love you,
to encourage you,
to encourage you,
to laugh with you,
to laugh with you,
to stand by you
to stand by you
through all that life brings us.
through all that life brings us.
By the love that you have shared and promises that you have made, I pronounce you married. Kiss the bride. I'm honored to introduce you for the first time as a married couple, Mike and Laura Kern.
I'd really like to thank Mike and Laura for inviting me into their home and letting me be a part of their special day. My friend Melissa and I are hoping to grow this wedding business. We offer efficient and photography services at one affordable price. I put a link to our website in the description below. We're calling it Simple Weddings, but another idea we had is calling it Noob Nuptials. You can comment on which name you like best. And if you know anyone who's looking to get married in Southeast Michigan, tell them to check us out. If you like this video, give it a like, consider subscribing for more photography-related content from a newbie like me. God bless.